Hello everyone, it's Andrea, welcome back. In one of my latest videos talking about competitive, some players said that they get very frustrated and enraged when playing competitive games. Maybe because they get really unlucky, maybe because their team is not doing their job, maybe because they hate losing and getting killed, or whatever the reason may be. So today I want to talk about how to have the right mentality in order to enjoy games, even if you lose. The first thing to realize is that if you're playing a team-based game, even if you do your best, you might lose. Maybe because the enemy has more experience, or maybe because your team doesn't have enough experience. So even if you do your best, you're very good, your team might not be doing a good work, so you lose. So you need to come to a realization that losing is not always your fault and to not beat yourself up over losing. And another thing which in my opinion is the most important is when we want to win, when we focus on winning, when we focus on becoming the top of the scoreboard, when we want to impress the other player that is playing with us or against us, we do our best to have a certain result. When you focus on anything in life with intense focus, you will become more tense in your body because all your energy is focusing on having that effort. What happens when you don't achieve what you want even though you're doing your best? Unconsciously, you will start blaming your team because your team wasn't covering you, or maybe you say you're unlucky and the game is unfair, or you will blame yourself and say I'm not good enough, I will never get better, and so on. What you need to realize in order to become a good player is not about giving the best effort, but losing and doing mistakes over and over. Sometimes it will go good, sometimes it will go bad. But as you play, what you will develop is you will faster and faster spot enemies, it will become more natural. You will faster shoot enemies and be more accurate. So everything you do, the more you do it, the more it will become an habit and it will become easier. It's been a while since I played Insurgency, and the moment I came back, I was horrible at it. I was like the first time picking it up. But as you keep playing and training the old habits, eventually you will start to get better again. That's why people need to keep playing a certain game in order to stay good at it. And the last thing is to understand what kind of game you're playing. In Insurgency Day of Infamy, it doesn't matter how good you are. When you're rushing in a heavily fortified position, where one enemy can just shoot an RPG, it doesn't matter how good you are, one RPG can kill you most of the time. So it's a understanding that maybe yes, you're gonna die 90% of the time, but that time that you survive is the time your team is gonna take the objective and you're gonna have a really wonderful time. And that's why Insurgency: A Day of Infamy is so enjoyable, because getting a lot of kills and getting the situation that you want is very challenging. And maybe you die all the time, but you realize that yes, you're focusing on the flank, but the enemies, in order to prevent you flanking, they're leaving the front lines really open and your team is taking the objective because you're putting pressure of the enemy. So you need to have a different perspective depending on what you're doing. And if nothing works, try changing the focus that you are putting to a different objective. For example, many people focus on winning. When you focus on winning, you're putting yourself in a situation in which you're gonna get frustrated most of the time because you can control the team you're gonna have, you can control the enemies you're gonna have, and if you don't control all those things, eventually you're gonna lose. Doesn't matter how good you are and how much effort you put into the game. Instead, if you focus on, I wanna do my best, I wanna do the best in this situation. Maybe your best is killing one player in the whole match. Doesn't matter, that's the best you can do in the situation. Maybe your best is killing two players and then dying. And you will be okay with that because in that situation, that's the best you can do. But you tried and you're not beating yourself over it because you're not putting those high expectations ahead of you. So guys, it's all about perspective, how you view the situation. If you're getting angry, you're getting frustrated, change the angle from which you're looking at the situation. If you get very good at the game, you might fall into the trap, I'm a pro player, I need to win, I'm a pro player, I always need to perform good. You will put a lot of pressure on yourself and you will eventually lose the enjoyment you had for the game. Because the moment you enjoy the game the most, it's when you're free to experience the game in any way and still feel good about it. So guys, thank you very much for watching. The video got longer than I expected, so right now you might be seeing some Rising Storm 2 gameplay. And thank you for watching guys. I'll see you on the next video.